Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Welcome to a segment on the Intellectual Soapbox called QueVersations, and I am Q. So join me as we give you some, as I give you some cozy conversation. So I know it's only Tuesday, and people are still kind of finding their groove in the week, and so the topic for the day is setting the tempo for your life. Now I know that sometimes it's hard to set the tempo and decide, okay, this is how I want things to go on a daily basis, on an hour by hour, probably minute by minute basis. However, you do have some control over how things go. You just have to learn how to balance the internal, natural things or your natural tempo versus the man made or societal tempo. So, first, I want to give y'all just a little introduction about myself because I'm kind of new here. I am the new kid on the block. um, so, my name is Quabila Jones, actually. And I've been working with Mr. Best in the World for a couple weeks now, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity. I host a show called the Q Spot Podcast and a few other projects, but that is my main project. And you can also catch me on KLEK 102.5 FM out of Jonesboro, Arkansas. So I'll bring you some Southern love already. And so I'm just excited about this opportunity to do something a little different than I normally do. So I'm going to give you those conversations that feel like a warm, cozy blanket fresh out the dryer. Now, some of them, though, are going to make you do a little self check. I mean, I'm not going to baby you all the time. However, it's still going to feel cozy. I'm going to give you that tough love with a soft touch. So, without further ado, I'm going to get right into the topic. And I'm be happy to engage with anyone in the audience. Look, don't forget to subscribe, so that you
Yes.
can comment, like, share, and all that jazz. Help get these numbers up and get other people engaged in the conversation. If you would like to come in, please let me know so that you can engage in the conversation as well. All right, so let's start out with some basics. What is tempo? Of course, for those of you who don't know, I'm a nerdy girl, so I have to do my research and I have to, do a little background check. And so, hey, Rashawn, thank you for popping in.
No
All right,
pressure,
so
indeed.
um, and so for musical terms, we hear about tempo. It's the speed at which music is played, measurements of the beat per minute. So we hear a song, our favorite song, or whatever your favorite song is, and it puts you in a mood. It's like your shoulders bouncing, all that stuff. So, you know, think about the tempo of the song you like, and then think about the beat and then the melody and all the arrangements it takes to make that song make you feel some kind of way. It could be fast, it could be slow. You listen to certain music based on what you're feeling or opposite of what you're feeling. So you may be ready to turn the block up. You mad, you hot. And so you might want to put on some mellow music like, okay, woo saw this day. Or you may be kind of down or whatever. You're like, okay, I need to get my energy up. So you put on something crunk, whatever your flavor is. You may be in a nostalgic mood and you're like, okay, I'm gonna play something old school from the 80s, 60s, 70s, whatever. I was born in the 70s. My dad was a DJ. My mom had all kinds of vinyls. And so I love music of all kinds. And so that's why I was really excited to bring this topic to you all. And so I can listen to anything except like that emo stuff and like really hard rock. Like I stray away from that. But I I kind of center on it's either 90s hip hop, soft rock from the 80s, or like that old school R&B, what they call soul music. Yeah, so I'm kind of that's like my go-to, and I have all these different playlists. But then I'm all over the place sometimes. Like I listen to Afro beats and I listen to jazz. And anyway, so again, within each of those genres of music, there's still different tempos, depending on the mood of the song and the beat and whatever. Same with our life, depending on what stage of life you're in, there's a different tempo. However, you still have some control over how that goes. There are times I used to work a 9 to 5. Well, the quote unquote 9 to 5. I used to work in an office setting. I used to work at restaurant, retail, and restaurants. And so sometimes we do what we have to do. And you're faced with society's tempos. You're faced with other people's energies. And it can disrupt your tempo. However, it's how you react to it that makes the big difference. You can just say, I'm going to say for me, my tempo is a mild soul vibe, and so someone comes along and brings me their rock and roll energy. I'm like, hold on, pause, pump your brakes. You have to know when to put people and things in their place. People, places, and things. Okay, um, you have to learn how to react or not in certain situations to maintain the tempo of your life. So I just wanted to bring you this message about you have control to set the tempo for your life. Now, life happens to all of us. There are just things we cannot control. There's death, there's birth, there's new love, there's heartbreak, you know. But again, it's a matter of how you react and how you let it affect you. Um, that will affect the tempo. I know I keep using the word tempo, the stride, the pace, I guess you say. What is the pace of your life? You still have control over that. So I would love to hear from someone. How do you try to maintain? Because I do have some tips. Okay, that's how we do this thing around here. I give you some meat, some appetizers, a little dessert, and then the dessert is the tips on how you can, maintain this balance and keep your tempo steady and not get off beat, so to speak. And I'm using all these musical references because when I say I love music, I can listen to music all day long. I don't even have to have the TV on. I just have the music on my tablet. Sometimes I'll put a song on and let Apple create a playlist. Sometimes I'll create my own playlist and, see how it goes. And and then sometimes there's a different song that comes on. I might start out with a slow song and then Apple decides, well, you need to hear something else. And then instead of skipping it, I'm like, okay, I can vibe with that. Again, in life, stuff like that happens. You're going down this one particular path and you're on this you're maintaining a steady beat, and then something happens. Now, it may seem disruptive at first, but then, you have the right and the power to say, okay, I'm going to let this kind of interfere for the moment, as long as it's not too disruptive. Okay. So, Mr. Best in the World, would you like to jump in and say, add your 2.5 cents?
I have a question.
Okay.
So, do you believe music not only affects our mood, but do you believe that it affects our health?
Oh, yes. Our bodies are affected by rhythm and sounds and vibrations and things of that nature. I know everybody doesn't think and feel and believe what I do, but I often listen to frequency music, or if you want to call it music, frequency sounds, because I feel like certain frequencies react with the cells in your body and they vibrate through certain parts and they can heal, help to release negative, stagnant energy. Now, is it okay, a cure-all? Do I listen to music versus taking a pill, or, doing exercise or eating right? No, but music or slash sounds slash vibrations have their place when it comes to your health and wellness. Also, going back to health, mental health, certain music can help to calm you down, like a slow jazz, instrumental music, whatever the case may be. It kind of helps to bring you down, calm your mood, lower your heartbeat so you don't stroke out, things of that nature. So music can play pivotal roles in different aspects of our lives. Music, a lot of people don't know this, or many do, when it comes to people with mental, like dementia or other issues, diseases. I don't want to say disease. Disorders, conditions of the mind.
Mhm.
Music can help to kind of bring them back and help keep them
Mm,
in the present. It what it does,
mm,
it stimulates a part of the brain that's related to memory and
mm,
emotions, and so music can kind of help bring that person alive. In essence, I've seen and heard about this in different nursing homes and other assisted living facilities where the person may seem dormant and
mhm,
they hear some music and it's like they snap back to the almost the person they were in that time period of whenever
mm,
that music, was made. So music
mm,
is very instrumental. Play on the word. No pun
mm.
intended. Music is very instrumental in our daily lives, everyday lives.
Yeah, I think with music, I think it's also it's a form of therapy. It's a form of expression. You know what I'm saying? And it allows us to connect with our emotions on a different wavelength. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you're not able to get your emotions out completely, right?
Yes.
And you'll listen to one song or listen to a multiple of songs, and you're like, oh man, like this is exactly what I needed to hear. You know, this is exactly what I was exactly what I was feeling. This is what is helping me. So I think
Hmm.
that it's key. You know what I mean, to have good music around you, the right music around you, and allowing that music to influence you in a good way. But I do see a lot of music that's toxic, a lot of music that's not good. You know,
Yeah,
and that needs to stop. That needs to change. So yeah.
most definitely. You talked about how people can express themselves. There are people who, going back to suffering from mental disorders, they may not
Mm,
know how to say what they feel, but getting involved in some type of music therapy can be beneficial for those people. Many artists or creative people, they definitely get in touch, in tune with how music plays a role in what they create. You know,
mm,
um, yeah. And then look at children. Look at how children react to music. Um, I feel like music is like this universal language. We may not all speak the same language, but when we hear a certain song, a certain beat, like we all get on one accord. So
mhm, mhm,
music is very instrumental. And again, trying to just apply this back to your life. You know, you have the power to set the tempo for your life. You have, depending on what stage you are in your life, it varies. The tempo may be fast, it may be slow. So just say you got married and
mm,
had a bunch of kids, and your tempo is probably pretty fast and upbeat.
mm,
However, it doesn't have to overwhelm you. You just have to find your groove within that tempo, and not
mm,
let people's outside influence their opinions. People who don't pay your bills, they can have
mhm,
an opinion, but that's
mhm.
all it is, and it could be dead on arrival if you choose. you
Exactly.
know, um, that's the way I feel about that. I will listen to you. I will consider your criticism, but that's all I'm going to do is consider it. You know,
Mhm.
unless it's
That's
beneficial to me.
exactly like that's as far as that's gonna go. I'm with
Yes.
you on that one. I'm totally with you on that one.
Yeah.
And I think music is also a part of our culture. Like back in Africa, music was an
Yes.
essential part of our expression. Also, how we would celebrate life, how we would celebrate different events in life, how we would celebrate those moving on, or we would celebrate marriage, or different things, or a child being born. So it was used as a way of us to celebrate all points of life. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Because it's funny. Because imagine like you get a job, and then all of a sudden like you come to your village, and like this is huge musical, what I mean, show for you. As soon as you walk in your village, it's like, oh wow, like that'll be different. You know what I mean? And I think that if we chime into that more, we go back to our essence, where we're using music, for celebration, and using it for a way to have a good outlet. It will definitely help us out in a lot of ways. So,
Most
you know,
definitely. I've seen videos of where students have graduated just high school and they come back to their village and with their caps and
Mm,
gown and walking through, and they are like you said, they are celebrated.
mm,
They have the hugest festivals and celebrations and just rejoice in the fact that these children completed, one stage of their life. Um, and now are going to go on to some university somewhere, hopefully,
mm-hmm,
if they're able to. Um, so I also want to talk about, okay, so I mentioned you can't control what happened. You can just control how you react to it.
mm-hmm,
Um, okay, the next point, the tempo you set for your life, it needs to feel organic. It needs to
mm,
feel natural. It needs to, because if you try to fit someone else's tempo, this is where that
mm-hmm,
comparing yourself to other people comes in. I used to do that. I used to look at one of my girlfriends. We made different choices in life, and she didn't have children early. She went to college, got several degrees, bought a house, bought cars. Here I was, a young parent, didn't finish school, worked low wage jobs. We had two different paths. And I was always finding myself trying to keep up to her beat, trying to compare. And it was running me crazy, driving me crazy. And so we have to
mm,
do what feels good and what comes natural for us. Don't underestimate who you are. Stop comparing yourself to other people because the tempo they have for their life, you don't know how long they spent trying to arrange the music to make it fit and make it, I don't want to say perfect because nothing in this life is really perfect, but to make it fit for who they are and what they need. Um, we can't go through life doing that, comparing ourselves, because then we miss out on what we're good at, what we're accomplishing. We miss out on the goodness of us by constantly looking
mm,
at someone else's life. So
mm,
I don't want this to sound harsh, but like if you mind your own, take care of your own,
mm-hmm,
you'll be just as content. And that kind of,
mm,
I don't know, content, comfortable, satisfied. Um, I'm not saying don't strive for more. However, learn how to be comfortable where you are while you're striving for more, um, without comparing yourself to other people. So, did you have anything
mm.
you'd like to say on that part?
Now, with that sister, do you believe that you have to also protect your energy as well, right? Do you have to protect like who's around you, you know,
Yes.
um, and then kind of only have certain people around you? I mean, do you think that that's also key as well?
Yes. Yes. Because there are people who will come in your life who will try to steal your vibe, steal your joy, steal your energy because they don't know how to do for themselves, or they're too lazy, or they just don't want to, whatever the case may be. So
Mm,
they'll try to pull from you and suck you dry. So yeah, you have to be very mindful. And this is where the spirit of discernment comes in. And I don't mean that as in a religious way, but just spiritual way. Every one of us should have a spiritual mindset because we're spiritual beings.
mm,
And that's a whole other conversation for another day. However,
mm,
um, yes, we need to protect our spirit and be discerning of who is around us and what they actually come to do, what what role they play in our life. Why are you here? Sometimes I want to ask people, why are you here? Like, what do you want? But I know that's rude. Can't say that. People, hit me up in my inbox, and I've got so much spam stuff, and it's like, what do you want? I just want to be like, what do you want? I don't even want. I don't want to do the hey, how you doing? You're pretty today. Where you from? Are you? No. What do you want? Just what do you want? Just what you want. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, you definitely have to protect yourself. So let's see. My last point it's okay to ignore some things and simply just not get involved. So when life stuff starts happening, other people try to get you engaged in their stuff, get you caught up in their music and their tempo and whatever's going on over there. It's okay to say, you know what? Nah, I'm good. It's okay to ignore it completely. Put your headphones back in and go the other way. Like, just, you know what? Not today. I don't have time today for you.
Can you hear me?
Uh huh. Tell people I don't have time for you and your stuff. That's not my monkeys, not my circus. I am not getting involved. Like, that is one of my favorite lines. Not my monkeys, not my circus. Nope. I'm not doing it today. So, there's I don't know if you've seen. There's it's on Instagram and TikTok and all that. It's like this little voiceover sound. It's like, I'm gonna drink water and mind my business.
Yeah, drink tea and mind my business. Yeah, I've seen that.
So I'm like, I'm gonna sit over here and drink my water, tea, coffee, tequila, whatever, and I'm gonna mind my business. So you can have that, because I don't need anything to disrupt the tempo and the flow that I've already set for my life. I know what I need to accomplish. I know what I need to get out of life. I know what I desire to achieve within my lifetime, in my dash of life, as it's so called. And I don't need to be thrown off. Now, there are times I choose to get involved, so I feel like I can make a difference. Because I'm still human, I'm going to say that, our humanity kicks in at some point. However, every situation does not require my attention. So, and I've learned that the hard way, getting involved in other people's stuff, because I'm one of these people that's open. I think people sense that I provide a safe space for people to talk and to just be. And so people will try to abuse that. And they come and dump all their anger and frustration and energy in. It's like, okay, now I don't have any place to take it. And so I'm stuck with their stuff. So now I'm all off beat. I'm all out of whack, So
Yeah, that's definitely key. Like, at times you just gotta let people know, listen, I'm not down with whatever is going on with you. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to get involved in whatever you got going on. Because people will try to do that. They will try to drag you down in their mess.
Yeah,
they most certainly will. So you got to just let them know, hey, listen, that's not happening over here. So I'm gonna keep it pushing. I'm gonna keep myself focused. And you stay over there, I'll stay over here, and you'll be all right.
Most definitely. Most definitely. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end with some pointers. Today's topic is a little shorter, I guess. And hopefully next time around we'll have some people to really, not be so quiet and engage in the conversation. But it's okay. Everybody's got to fill it out, see what it's all about and what the conversation is all about. So that's okay. Absolutely okay. I want to end with some pointers that all of us can apply to our daily life. And so, the tempo in life affects our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being, which essentially is our rhythm. And so, again, you have control over the rhythm of your life, over the beat, the tempo, all the arrangements. You have control over that. Yes, life will happen. However, you still have more control than you think. You're the conductor of your life. I know I'm using a lot of musical references, trying to help bring the message home. And so the natural beats include your physical, which means like your sleep, food, exercise, mental, learning, and then using those skills that you learned, emotional connections and love, and your mental, your emotional state of being, heartbreak and happiness and sadness. All those different things go into the emotional. And spiritual, like, what is my meaning in life? What is my purpose? What am I here for? And so then there are some man-made beats, things that we just can't control, like our 9-to-5 job, Illness. One was
Mm,
man-made, but that's something that we can't control. Um, Different activities that require our attention, different interactions, interpersonal reactions with society and people we work with and family members. Those are man-made beats and things that we just got to try to find a way to arrange it within our own beat and tempo and melody and rhythm and all that, or not. So the choice is yours
mm,
still.
mm,
Um, so here's the challenge for you to be the conductor in your own life. Here's some things that you can do um, to the best of your abilities. One, schedule time between activities. A lot of us are so caught up in, okay, the kids got soccer. I have this board meeting. My spouse has this after work or XYZ. There's so many activities that we get caught up in because we don't want to sit at home because we feel like we're being bored, but schedule some time in between to chill, relax, recalculate, reevaluate, whatever. Don't be so on the go that you don't take time to readjust, rearrange your music,
mm,
your tempo, your melody, your beats, all that. Because what happens to, think about an instrument. What happens to it if you just keep using it, and you don't ever clean it, you don't ever change, do any tune up? What happens to something that you never give a rest to? It
mm,
eventually burns out or it breaks, it malfunctions.
mhm,
Same thing with
mhm,
your physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. You will eventually malfunction, and not in a good way at times. So take time, set some quiet time to just reevaluate and just be one with yourself. I know this sounds all hippy dippy, yoga, and new age, but trust me, being one with yourself really works. All right, complete one task before starting a new one. I'm guilty. Judge, throw me under the jail. I am guilty. I will
mhm,
have 20 things going. Like, okay, so I have this notebook that has like 5 subjects in it. It's on the 5 subject notebooks. And when I tell you I have something written under each one, like I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. No, I'm only one person. One person. I
Now
get
wait, when doing that, right? There has to be a way for you to kind of, it's a process in that, because if you're
hmm
making notes, you're processing through each note, you're processing through, you know, each thing that you're doing. So it's not like you're just aimlessly writing. There
No.
has to, there's a method to what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Hey, Princess K. Thank you for stopping in.
Hey, Princess K, good to see
And
you.
thank you. Like, pink is my favorite color too. Like all shades of pink. Thank you. Thank you. So, but like, okay, when it say starting one project, okay, so like when I started my podcast, I also
Mm-hmm.
wanted to write a book. I also wanted to
Mm,
do a youth program in my radio station. I also wanted to do XYZ in the community.
mm-hmm.
I had to learn how to find the balance and see, okay, what's priority now? What's important? What can I wait on? And then later on, it's like, okay, I try to pick up all these other projects. I want to do accessories. I want to do product. I want to do stuff for my podcast. Everybody else got a t-shirt, a hat, of this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, you can't do all that right now. You're only one person. I don't have a team of people working with me. So again,
Mm,
you know, finish one thing if possible before you start something else. So
mm,
that's one way to kind of be the conductor of your life and regain control and not spaz out.
mm.
Ask for help. Look, I am the world's worst when it comes to asking for help. I would sit here on my little do nothing stool. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
crying. I'll be stressed. I'll be digging in my head like, Kavita, just ask for some help. It's okay. It doesn't make you seem
Mm.
less than. And I'm sure a lot of us, you know, or at some point in life have been felt like we were independent and we got this. I got this.
But is that a learned behavior though? Is that a learned behavior?
It is, unfortunately. And I
Mm,
say unfortunately, and I say this for women especially. So I'm going to say this for everybody out there listening. Everybody. Telling a woman she's strong is not a compliment. Like, we are strong because we have to be at times. Now, there are different levels and different types of strength, yes. But just saying strong, independent black woman, that's not really a compliment within itself.
mm,
um, and this goes all the way back. I recently read a book called Black Innocence, a Sample Conversation. And it talked about how even in slavery time, there were systems set up to start breaking down the black family and
mm,
making the woman develop this certain mindset and attitude about how she raised her boy versus her girl. And so it goes all
mm,
the way back. It is a learned behavior and it's ingrained in our DNA. But again, we still have some control on how we operate and navigate this system that was already set up against us from the beginning. Again, that's a whole other conversation. Anybody that wants to
mm,
have it, I'm happy to have it. I'm here for you. I'm here with you. Let me know. Um, Princess says, no, it's not. I don't want to be strong and independent. I want to be Yes, ma'am. I want to
mm,
be interdependent. I want a man. I want a husband. I want a spouse, a mate. I want to share my life with someone. I don't mind painting a wall, screwing in a screw, hanging a picture. But at the same time, I like to let my feminine shine through at times and
mm.
let the man be the man, and I want to relax in the safety and comfort of his arms. And I'm not too strong and independent to say I don't need anybody. I need and want a man. So that's another subject. But yeah,
But here's my question, right? Is gender roles something that we've adopted, from a different culture, right? You
to
know
a
what I mean?
degree, I think
So,
so.
because if we look back, even some of our ancestry, there were African queens, and they ran the whole country. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, is gender roles something that we've adopted? 'Cause I think in some respect we have adopted it. Um, you know, and I don't. I think that at the end of the day, it has to be community. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think that that's the best way. You gotta have community because everybody needs somebody.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So there's gonna be times where I need help. There'll be times where you need help, and we're gonna have to reach out to somebody. You know what I mean? You know, um, as my grandfather said, you're gonna have to listen to somebody someday.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that's big. You know what I mean? Like we eventually are going to have to rely on someone to help
Yes.
us through what we're going through. So
And
but here's my thing, right? Okay, so even though you prefer, you know, having a man be a man and you being in your feminine, do you think that men of today actually understand what that means?
not fully. Some do, yes.
Mm,
It goes back to this alpha versus beta
mm-hmm,
debate. And in my personal opinion, and I've even heard another man say this, an alpha man, in most cases, is a man who just wants to exert control over
mm,
situations as woman, whatever the case. They are basically the beat your chest, loud talking. They're just, I am man, blah, blah, blah. They're those kind of people versus I want to be the nurturer of
mm,
my woman, of my family. I want to be the provider, the supporter. I want to be the leader of my family unit, of my society, of my community, whatever. I want to be a leader on my job. To me, that's what an alpha male is. Someone who knows how to be a leader, but also knows when to rein it in and not just be king of the jungle all the time,
mm,
That's what it. And I know some men look at this alpha beta like beta means weak for them, and man who can't control his woman situation, blah blah blah. But I see things different. I see it differently.
Do you believe some of this alpha male stuff comes from men who are insecure? Because I
There's some
see it as an insecurity somewhere. I see it as like, I have to now prop myself up to not
mm,
act like I'm the man. Because if you are naturally, you know, if you're naturally that person or that guy, or you naturally have confidence, people gonna gravitate towards that. You know what I mean? They're not. It's not something that they're gonna have to like. You're gonna have to like parade it. You know what I mean? It's just gonna naturally happen because you're just being you. But I feel like a lot of men, that's not naturally them. You know.
mm-hmm.
So with that being said, they're going. They got to rely on the alpha and beta stuff. You know what I mean? Because they know that okay, you know, um, they know that okay, basically, I couldn't cut it, I couldn't cut it basically just as, what I'm saying, in my regular life. So now I'm using this as a soapbox, no pun intended, you know, as a soapbox for me now to parade. Me and a real man have to say that I'm
Uh-huh.
a real man. You know what I mean? All the real men that I knew, they were just real men, and that's just what it
Thank
was.
you.
It's like
Thank you.
they didn't have to make
Yes.
it that. Princess K has a comment. It says give the
All
same
right.
vibe as the person going around saying they are a badass. You shouldn't have to broadcast it. Everyone would know as soon as you come around. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. So, and I think most men who use or overuse those terms, beta alpha, need to look at the animal kingdom and look at how they actually operate. The alpha male, again, like I said, is the one who is the provider, the leader of the pack. They know, okay, let's go this path versus that path, because there's danger over here. They're the ones training the pups or whatever the babies are in the group.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones training the little ones on how to act, to behave, and learn their role and their position
Mm.
in the pack. I watch a lot of nature videos too sometimes. And so it was wolves and the little babies, they wanted to play. They wanted to get out of turn. And the leader, the alpha wolf, kind of nipped at him or whatever, it nipped at him and just kind of stood there quietly. And the baby knew to back down. So
Mm.
where are our alpha male leaders in our community, especially in the Black community? I'm not just
Mm.
picking on us, but I'm Black and that's my experience. So where are our leaders that say, young men, put the guns down, young men, go to school, young
Mm-hmm.
men, stop having babies at such a young age and then leaving these women, young ladies.
Yes.
I can point the finger right back at me, and I don't even know if
Mm.
they use the term alpha female and beta and all this, but
Mm-hmm.
where it's my responsibility to grab hold of the young ladies. Young ladies, you are worth more than what you think. You are worth the wait. You are worth this. You know. Anyway, again, this ideal of mine and my belief system comes from, one, being a young parent, two, working in the industry, in a nonprofit industry where I worked with young parents. So I was able to provide some case management based on my experience and my knowledge, and having conversations with them, listening to what they say they didn't get, is leading to why they got into certain behaviors. And
Mm.
we that call ourselves the alphas and the leaders,
Mm-hmm.
why are our communities becoming dilapidated? And not
Mm.
in the sense of the buildings and the houses, but internally, like, anyway, I'm gonna get off that soapbox, no pun
No, 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 no. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine.
pun
I, I,
intended.
I think that I think a lot of times, with a lot of times with men, we can kind of think that okay, I got this certain amount of money, I have a certain type of career, I wear a certain type of clothes. Well, I've made it, and it's so much bigger than that, you know. But I think that we're not even thinking about community. We're thinking about grandeur success, you know. And once that grandeur success was gone, now it's like, oh, reality hits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And once reality hits, we're like, oh, well, damn. Life is much more than, me having this or me buying this or me having that.
Yes, sir.
And for me,
Indeed.
I always look out for people who who are always so focused on materialistic things. Those are the people that I really try to stray away from.
Okay.
Because if you are too focused on materialistic things, then that lets me see, that you don't have self value or self worth.
Mm-hmm.
That your mindset is focused on the wrong things. You know what I mean? That your mindset should really be focused on, you know, trying to, not just trying to help yourself, but help others. You know what I'm saying? Like, we live in a big world. So, living in this big world, we should try to help as many of those as possible that we can help, right?
That's right.
So, it's a two-way street, you know what I mean? So we want to give help, but it also has to be people who are willing to receive the help. So,
That's right.
yeah.
So, what that's going to look like in the future and in the days ahead, I don't know, but we all have to start somewhere. Yeah. All right. And so, another point of how you can be the conductor of your life is to consolidate activities. And so, instead of, okay, I have this meeting, this activity, see where things can work together, how things can work together. So you're not running all over the place. You're not hosting more than one thing, or see how groups can collaborate. Just like we're collaborating now versus everybody having their own individual. Now, having individual platforms and individual spaces is nothing wrong with that. But how can we collaborate and get the message out to a wider audience? Because you have connects with people that I don't, and then I have some connects with people you may not. And so it's about being open to collaboration and not being afraid to let somebody in and share the spotlight with you as well. You can still maintain your own tempo, your own beat within the arrangement. But you just have to know when.
What do you say? Each one teach one, and each one reach one, something like that. However that saying goes, where it's about one person doing their part, they learn the information, the other person bringing the information, and they bring it all together. And I think that's key, not just in YouTube, but that's key in life, because if we have a community. I may be good at plumbing, you may be good at building cars, another dude may be good at drawing or whatever. We all have different skill sets, which are equally valuable, but they're all different skill sets in different ways. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big thing. Like, in life and on YouTube, just appreciating the different skill sets, the different mindsets, and the different things that people can do, and just what they can share and what they can bring to the table. So,
and I want to use the reference. Think of life as like one big orchestra, and you play the flute, someone else plays the trumpet, someone else plays the saxophone. Learn how you all can work together. Bring your instruments together, which is your skills, your knowledge, your insight, your connections, blah, 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 yada, yada. Think about how you can bring all that together and make one big, beautiful sound. So think about how you can not try to conquer the world on your own and collaborate and consolidate, and make beautiful music with somebody else. So, all right. Hello, Ms. Knowledge and Relationships. Thank you for checking in.
Three, what's going on, brother?
All right. Another thing is plan ahead. This may not always work in every situation. We all know life happens, but to the best of your ability, try to plan ahead. And this is one thing I try to teach young girls, again, going back to having children early in life. Try to plan at different stages when you want your children. Try to plan when you want to go to school or take a trip, or just do whatever it is in life you want to do. Try to plan ahead to the best of your abilities. And then within those plans, add some contingency plans. Okay, so what if XYZ happens? Well, then here's some alternative bullet points. I'm just one of those people. I'm an outliner, literally. Okay, topic number 1, A, B, C, D. And then under ABCD, then there's, some more little bullet points. So I'm an outliner. I will outline everything to the day. But again, this is another way that you can become the conductor and gain a little more control of your life. Plan as much as possible ahead of time. Okay. Focus on one thing at a time. That kind of goes back to complete one task before you start another. Don't have too many big eggs in the basket. Don't have too many irons in the fire. Try to do one thing at a time. You can't go to work and then be focused on what you got to do after work. You can't be in school focused on what you got to do at home. Try to focus and maintain that energy, and not let it get out of control. Adjust your vocal tone and speed. Okay, now with that, again, this is about people come at you, things come at you, life comes at you. It's about how you react or not react. The way you say things matter, how you say things, and the tone and speed, simply just, those are music terms. How you say things, what you say, when you say it, just learn how to adjust those, and be cognizant of when and where and how it's best to do either or. React less. All that ties back in. Like I said, I keep me a pair of headphones around. I see somebody acting ugly doing something, I'm like, I got time. That's not my monkeys. That ain't my circus. So yeah, y'all go ahead. I'm gonna be over here. That's just me. And then adjust your assertion. So just like tone of voice matters, when something comes at you, adjust how you react. Are you gonna go full on line beast of the jungle? Or are you gonna be like, you know what? I'm not gonna give you what you deserve. I'm gonna give you what you need. Anywho, so I want to say thank you all for joining me today for a hashtag cozy conversation. The topic is setting the tempo for your life. And for those of you who may have missed some early parts, please go back and watch. Share your comments. Tempo, I use a lot of music terms in reference to tempo, but you can see how they apply to your life. So I want to end with this quote. And it says, I've tried as much as possible to avoid the standard 9-to-5 thing. I've tried to organize my life so that I can move around, change the rhythm and the tempo. Asaka Shakur. So, with as much power as you have, try to navigate and arrange your life just like a musical arrangement. Think of a music sheet and how the notes are arranged, and the beats and the tempos and the sounds and all that, and instruments and whatever. So think about how music is arranged and apply that to your life, and you set your own tempo. So I want to thank you all for joining me, QB, on today's QueVersation. Mr. Best in the World, you have anything you would like to add?
Yes, I just want to say thanks for everybody for joining us and being a part of our experience. Thank M3, Arshawn Dave, Princess K. Thank you all for coming in and being a part of our experience. We appreciate you. We got a lot of more great stuff coming your way. And yeah, QueVersations is going to be phenomenal. QB, thank you for gracing me with your presence as usual. I truly appreciate your family. And, with that being said, we are outie.
Thank you, Princess K. Thank you, everybody.
DJ.